reality, my mentality. Everything changes so rapidly, and I'm ready for the never-ending fire. Dancing with my deepest, dark desires. Miracle, how empirical. Don't know anything quite as hysterical. Everything around me transpires as I fulfill my darkest desire.
Yo, what's going on, guys? And today we're going to have a video, and in this video I'm going to be ranking the Fazbear Fright story characters, or not characters, animatronics. Now, one thing before I start, in the man in room 1280, there isn't really an animatronic, so I'm just going to be using William Afton, because he's basically the main character. Even though he's not technically an animatronic, I'm just going to use him. So yeah, just throwing that out there before we start. One last thing before we start, I just want to say that I'm doing these rankings based off of categories that give you a certain amount of points, that give each character a certain amount of points, like I did with ranking some of the DCEU villains and stuff like that. So the categories are the actions of the animatronic, like what they do, that's for 10 points. The storyline, like the story, how good the story was in my opinion, which is out of 8. The design of the character, 5. And the connection to the main character, which is 2. So, now let's actually start. Sadly, coming in last place, we have Ella from 1:35 a.m. Now, it's mostly because she doesn't really do anything, and 1:35 a.m. isn't too great. It's not a bad story. Definitely not a bad story. It's pretty good, but it's not nearly as good as the other ones. So, yeah. So she got a 3 out of 8 in story. She doesn't really do anything in the story. Honestly, she doesn't really do anything. She just drives Delilah insane, but like she herself doesn't really move around or do anything. So I gave her a 3 out of 10, but she still moves a little bit. So, yeah, she still gets 3 out of 10. Her design is really simplistic, and I don't think it looks that good. So, I gave her 1 out of 5 in design. But the connection to the main character was actually really good. I think it worked really well. How it's like Delilah's, like her, it looks exactly like the envisionment of Delilah's child. And I think that works really well. And it even looks like it, apparently, according to her. Wait, no, I already said that. It has a similar name to what she wanted to name her kid. And yeah, I think Ella wasn't great, honestly. I don't like Ella that much. So now, last place was Ella. Now let's move on to the next character. Next up, we have a character that I usually like in the games quite a bit, but she's not as good here. It's Ballora from Dance With Me. She got 5 out of 10 in actions because she didn't do much either, but she did do more than Ella. Her story was my least favorite story out of all the Fazbear Fright stories, so she got a 2 out of 8 there. Her design, basically just like regular, I mean, it would be the same as regular Ballora's design from the games, so, and I do like it a little bit, but it's alright. It's not too good, so I gave it a 2 out of 5 for that, and the connection to the main character was actually pretty good, just like Ella, how it was like the embodiment of, like, what was her name, Casey's, like, her mother, like, kind of like her mother, and I think that kind of makes sense, and I think it works alright, the connection to the main character, but overall she wasn't as good here as she was in the games. Now let's move on to the next one. Next up, we have a character that I actually expect to be a lot higher on the list, but apparently they did not get very many points. It is Eleanor from To Be Beautiful. This story, again, is alright, just like 1:35 a.m., so I gave it a 3 out of 8 there. It's not amazing, though. Her actions, she does do quite a bit, so I gave her a 7 out of 10 in actions, but she didn't do, like, the most, and it wasn't the coolest. Her design was, like, a 2 out of 5. I mean, it would have been better. It would have been, like, a 3 out of 5 if it weren't for the fact that she was literally, like, a giraffe. and the connection to the main character was like a 1 out of 2. The only way they're really connected is the fact that Sarah wants to be beautiful. That's pretty much the only way that they're connected. So I don't think Eleanor was done that well. She's not terrible though. Everyone afterwards I actually like a lot. Eleanor was alright, but from the next one and onwards I do like quite a bit, but some just not as much as the others. So yeah, let's move on to the next character. Again, another character that I really liked in the games, but again, she wasn't really done too well in Coming Home, and it's Chica. I don't really... Honestly, the reason I don't like Coming Home that much as a story is because it's really forgettable, in my opinion. I don't really remember much of what happens, but I do remember a little bit. I gave her a 5 out of 10 in actions. Story, again, was alright. Story, 3 out of 8. Design, 4 out of 5. I really like regular Chica's design. Connection to main character was 2 out of 2. Basically because Susie and Chica are literally the same character. So that's why their connection was pretty good. Chica was pretty cool in this story, but again, not as good as the next characters that we have to talk about. So yeah, let's move on to the next one, which, again, I really expected to be much higher. Much, much higher. Oh yeah, by the way, Ella got 9 points total, Ballora got 11, Eleanor got 13, Chica got 14, and now the next one. Again, I thought this one would be a lot higher, but nope, it's actually pretty low. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's based on the points, so... Yeah, okay, let's move on to the next one. Next up, we have Lonely Freddy from Lonely Freddy. The actions, I gave it a 6 out of 10. It didn't really do much until they actually swapped bodies. But it was in a really cool story, so I gave it a 6 out of 10 in story. Design was 2 out of 5. It was basically just a miniature Freddy, just not looking as cool, but with the Funtime animatronic, like, speaker on his chest. The connection to the main character, there wasn't really much of one until they swapped, so I only gave it a 1 out of 2. Overall, thought Lonely Freddy would be a lot higher on the list, but I guess not. The points add up to only 15 out of 25 total. So yeah, let's just move on to the next one. Once again, another character that I really, really like in the games, but was not done as well here in the books, in the new kid, and it's Golden Freddy. So Golden Freddy literally does nothing. But the thing is that Kelsey basically is theorized to be the spirit in Golden Freddy, at least in this version of the FNAF universe. So Golden Freddy did kind of do quite a bit. Because Golden Freddy is Kelsey. So I gave it a 3 out of 10, but like the actual animatronic didn't do anything. Literally just, did a little bit at the end when he was like biting Devin's arm and stuff, but not really much else. The storyline, I actually really, really like the new kid. When I first watched Doco's What You Need to Know About It, it was my favorite story. It was my favorite Fazbear Fright story at that time, but I don't like it as much as some of the other ones now. But yeah, the design is regular Golden. It's just regular Golden Freddy, and I really like Golden Freddy's design, so I gave it a 5 out of 5 for design. But the connection to the main character, the main character is not Kelsey. The main character is Devin, and Devin has no connection to Golden Freddy, so Golden Freddy got a 0 out of 2 for connection to main character. Overall, adding up to 15 points again, but I do think I like Golden Freddy a little bit more than Lonely Freddy. But yeah, let's move on to the next one. Unlike Golden... What? What did I even just say? I meant unlike Lonely Freddy, not unlike Lolden. Unlike Lonely Freddy, I expected this next character to be a lot lower on the list. but it actually got a fair amount of points, considering the fact that I don't really like this character much in the games. It's mini arenas. The mini arenas did quite a bit in this story, so got an 8 out of 10 in actions. The story was actually really good too. I liked Room for One More a lot, so that got a 7 out of 8. The designs of the mini arenas are literally not anything. So they got 1 out of 5 for that, and 0 out of 2 for connection to main character, because they weren't really connected at all. Overall, 16 out of 25. A lot more than I expected, to be honest, but whatever. And next up, we have a character that I really expected to be higher than this, to be honest. But I guess these next... We have like half of the list. We've only done like half of the list. But a lot of the characters are really, really cool. It jumps from 16 points from mini arenas to 20 points for the next character. So yeah, let's move on to the next character. Next up, we have the animatronic from the first ever Fazbear Fright story, Into the Pit Spring Bonnie. The actions of Into the Pit Spring Bonnie are actually really, really cool. 9 out of 10 for that. Storyline, again, 7 out of 8. I really liked Into the Pit. The design was not as good as like Springtrap and Scraptrap's designs. I don't know why people hate on Scraptrap's design, to be honest. But But if you actually look at it, Into the Pit Spring Bonnie and Scraptrap actually have slightly similar designs. So Into the Pit Spring Bonnie might have been like a similar suit or the suit used for Scraptrap. For the connection to the main character, there wasn't much. But after Into the Pit Spring Bonnie goes back to the future with Oswald, he becomes Oswald's dad, and that was really, really cool. And that is partially a connection, so that got a 1 out of 2 for the connection to the main character. Overall, 20 points out of 25. So yeah, let's move on to the next character. The next character up is Count the Ways Funtime Freddy. The actions were really, really cool, so I gave that a 9 out of 10 as well. Story wasn't as good as some others, but it was pretty good. I gave it a 5 out of 8. The design, I really like the design of Count the Ways Funtime Freddy, at least the one in Daco's song. Otherwise, it would just be regular Funtime Freddy. I'm not really sure what design Count the Ways Funtime Freddy has, but either way, I think it would get a 5 out of 5, 100%. If it was Count the Ways Funtime Freddy from Daco's song, or if it was regular Sister Location one, it would get 5 out of 5, regardless. The connection to the main character was pretty good. Only a 1 out of 2, though. Again, 20 points, but I think I like Count the Ways Funtime Freddy a little bit more than Into the Pit Spring Bonnie. So yeah, now we're going to move on to the next one. Next up, we have Foxy from Step Closer. Foxy from Step Closer was really cool. I didn't like him as much as in the games, but I still really liked him here. He got 8 out of 10 for actions, 7 out of 8 for story. I really like Step Closer. Design 4 out of 5. I do like Foxy's design a lot, but I don't think it was perfect, so I gave it 4 out of 5. Connection to main character was 2 out of 2. They are connected pretty well. So yeah, now Foxy got 21 out of 25 points, and I think he deserves that. Now we're entering the top 5, and yeah, let's just get into it. Kicking off the top 5, we have In the Flesh Springtrap. Now, I know a lot of people hate this story, and a lot of people love them. I am one of the people that loves In the Flesh. I love it so much. Okay? It is so good. So I gave it 8 out of 8 for story. The actions of In the Flesh Springtrap are actually really cool. A lot of people think they're too gruesome, but I love them. Actions, I gave 7 out of 10. Design, 5 out of 5. It's basically just like the Springtrap from the end of the Freddy files. I'm pretty sure it's the same Springtrap from this book, from the story. So yeah, even if it was regular Springtrap, I still love both designs, so they would both get 5 out of 5 either way. The connection to the main character, I gave 2 out of 2, so that's 22 out of 25 for a total. I really like In the Flesh Springtrap, and I think he was done pretty well. Even though it's pretty controversial, I still love it. So yeah, now let's move on to number 4. Next up, at number 4, we have Ralpho from Bunny Call. So the actions, let's just get straight to the point. He got 10 out of 10 for actions. I don't think you can disagree. Story, 6 out of 8. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst. It was pretty good. Pretty damn good. Design, 5 out of 5. I love his design. Connection to the main character. He didn't have much of one, but that like 5,000 hour long scene when when Bill or Bob, whatever his name was, is trying to keep him out. Like, that was really cool, and I feel like that deserves at least 1 point for connection to the main character. So that is 22 points again, but I think I like Ralpho more than In the Flesh Springtrap, just a little bit though. So now let's move on to number 3, top 3, entering top 3, number 3 on the list. Now, let's go. As I said at the beginning, William Afton is technically not an animatronic, but I still included him. So yeah, number 3, we have William Afton. His actions are limited, and that's why they are so good. The fact that he's possessed, or he has the vengeful spirit inside him. So his actions are limited. But when he does move, and the fact that his actions are limited, make his actions 10 out of 10. Story, 8 out of 8. My third favorite story of all. Design, 4 out of 5. Like, from the description, it sounds really cool, but the only reason it's not 5 out of 5 is because we don't really know exactly what it looks like, but from the description, really, really cool. And connection to main character, 1 out of 2. For a total of 23 out of 25 points. The reason there's 1 out of 2 for connection to main character is because Arthur is doing whatever he's trying his damnedest to try to help him. I know a lot. Also, a lot of people still think that the guy in the man in room 1280 is not William Afton, which it definitely is. Some people think it could be Michael Afton, but we literally hear exactly Ultimate Custom Night. That's exactly what we hear about going on. So, yeah. Connection to main character, 1 out of 2, yep. So, yeah. Arthur is trying his hardest to help William. So I feel like they're connected, at least in some way. So, yeah, 23 out of 25 points. I think William Afton was done really well in the Man in Room 1280. Now let's move on to number 2. Coming in as number 2, runner-up, is from book 2. Well, both number 2 and number 1 are from book 2. But yeah, let's just talk about number 2, runner-up, Plush Trap Chaser. Actions, easy, 10 out of 10. It was so good. Story, 8 out of 8, one of my favorites. Design, 4 out of 5. I do love his design, but I don't think it's as good as some of the others. So I gave it 4 out of 5. And connection to main character was 2 out of 2, because like Oscar and all the others, they love Plush Trap Chaser, and they're trying so hard to get him. And in trying to get him, they get the Plush Trap Chaser that's all demented and messed up. So, they caused their own demise. Or not demise, but, they caused everything. It's their fault that, Plush Trap Chaser, tried killing them. It was Oscar's fault, pretty much. So, yeah, Plush Trap Chaser is at number 2. I think you could probably guess what number 1 is. So yeah, 24 out of 25 points. Just barely missing 25. Just barely missing perfect. But there's only one character that I would think of as perfect, and that is the number 1 spot. You guys already know, number 1 is Fetch. The actions, 10 out of 10, easy. It's as if he doesn't even know that what he's doing is wrong. And he's so good, guys. He is so good. The story, I gave that an 8 out of 8. My second favorite story of all, right behind In the Flesh. Design, 5 out of 5. Incredible design. Connection to main character, 2 out of 2. For a perfect 25 out of 25 points. I love the story, and I love Fetch, the animatronic. Plus, there's a new Daco song, Daco de Houston song, coming out very, very soon. Next Saturday, just 6 days away. It was supposed to be today, but it was supposed to be yesterday. Actually, it was delayed like 5 times. But still, it seems like it's gonna be really, really good, and I'm really excited for it. So yeah. What more can I say about Fetch? I'm gonna make a plasticine figure of him, but only after the song comes out, so that I can hear, so I can have the song in the background, as you guys see the time lapse of me making him. But yeah, I'm really excited to make him. I'm really excited for it. Fetch is just so good. Only one story that's better than it, and 0 Fazbear Fright animatronics that are better than him. And he's probably among my favorite animatronics in all of FNAF. Probably top 5. I'd say. Definitely top 10, easily. But yeah, I'm going to end the video there. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like on the video. And if you like my other videos, please do consider subscribing. If you didn't see my last video, only 9.9% of you are subscribed. Like, what the hell, dude? Come on, man. I'm guessing it's all from, like the Daco song extendeds and previews and stuff. But, like, still, come on, guys. But yeah, I'm going to end the video there, and I'll see you guys later. Bye. Peace out.